brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to where everything good in life is worth talking about and drinking. I'm one of your hosts, good old gal Julieanna, and today with me for this special episode is good old boy Dave.
Well, hey there, sugar. I'm trying to go extra southern.
Yeah, right back at you. Not quite. And Reverend Mark.
Hi.
Hey.
Ooh, that was very good.
That was really good. And good old boy Sparky.
I'm just glad that you guys let me do this as a condition of my parole. And just make sure my PO knows that I did the good fight today.
You did, yes.
Thank you.
We're taping it.
Make sure to test his urine.
Before the episode, please. Before.
Of course. Well, this episode and all of our Suds episodes are all about beer, and possibly a side of beer. Today's show is a bottle share.
Yeah, we used to call these show and tells, but bottle share is way more beer nerd centric.
Beer nerd centric? Where'd you come up with that?
Hipsterific? I don't know. I've been doing a lot of market research, and we're pretty big with the skinny jeans crowd.
Dude, why do I not believe you at all?
Well, you do seem like the suspicious type, but I don't know.
Anyway, for all the hipsters that are listening out there, and I'm sure there's a few of you, bottle shares are a big deal. It's a great chance to show off a whale you might have tracked down, or share a great new beer from a local brewery, maybe show off something you picked up while on an out-of-state beer run, or
unload some crappy pseudo-craft beer that your Bud Light drinking relatives got you for your birthday last year and wouldn't shut up about it until you opened a bottle and choked it down in front of them. Not that I have any personal experience with that.
Hey, man. Hey, Spark. Don't worry about that, man. We've already been there 1,000 times. It's the beer equivalent of a Christmas sweater. Really ugly.
Exactly. Okay, so let's just get this thing moving along. So before we get going, since you haven't been with us in a while, Reverend Mark, would you please do us the honor of going over our Suds ratings for us?
Well, it'd be a real pleasure. Today, we'll be tasting and discussing these beers and rating them with these Suds ratings, plus our signature belching sounds. Here are those ratings right now. Number 1, that sucks. Give me anything but a Bud. Number 2, was that a belch? And number 3, what a relief. Number 4, a body should really not make that sound. And number 5, listen to that hang time. Give me another.
Oh,
Man, that felt
Reverend
good.
Mark, no one talks about rude body noises quite like you do.
Thank you
No
very
one
much.
makes rude body noises quite like I do. Allow me to demonstrate.
No. That's fine. We have enough ventilation here. It won't be necessary. Everyone's well aware of your, that's how we say, prowess. So let's have some beer. Damn it. Each of us has brought a couple of beers to share with the group. Now, we've all tasted them and done some notes, or maybe not enough notes. We'll take turns introducing a beer we brought and then giving our tasting notes. And then the other 3 hosts will take turns giving their notes and rating said beer. Sparky, why don't you start us off?
Sure thing. So the beer that I brought today was a beer called Gish by Mantra Artisan Ales. So I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about Mantra, if you don't mind. So Mantra is a brewery that was created in conjunction with Iron Chef Manit Chauhan and master brewer Derek Morse. And it's just been putting out these amazing beers here in the area, just experimenting with so many cool flavors, and really I think is one of the most exciting breweries in this local market. But this particular beer, Goo Goo Gish, is named after the Goo Goo Cluster and a local beer aficionado. Yeah, we all love the Goo Goo Cluster. For those of you outside of this part of the world, you can get Goo Goo Clusters. It's a kind of a round candy bar that has caramel, marshmallow, peanuts or other kinds of nuts, and it's covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
And it does not suck.
I tell you, being a native Nashvilleian, that Standard Candy Company, and that is synonymous with Nashville.
And it's such a great local treat, and they've been doing a couple of special versions that they sell only at the store. They've been partnering with a lot of local chefs, kind of coming up with their own unique versions. But just plain Jane Goo Goo Cluster does it for me. So
I like the habanero Goo Goo. I don't know if you guys have had that.
No, I haven't done that yet.
I just totally made that up.
Wow, that's cool. Is that why you had your pinky up in the air? Like, why you said that? Yes. Okay, thought so.
That's why it was hard for me to sit down.
Yeah, that and a trip to Prince's is all we need. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely not sitting down afterwards. Just,
True.
personal overshare there, but
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, hot chicken. And installment payments. Okay, I'm done.
So
Stop
we're
now.
cutting it
So
off
do
here.
you prefer a sour or a really strong hoppy beer for Hetty B's or Prince's? Which would it be?
I usually go hoppy.
Hoppy?
It usually cuts
yeah.
the heat. I'm like one of those people that's a total freak of nature, and like there's nothing too hot for me to eat. And
That sounds like a challenge.
well, I think we did that actually on a previous episode. And
Another one that really works with Prince's really hot. The hottest of the hot is, believe it or not, a really nice milk stout.
yes, that's what I was going to say next. Yeah, something creamy to help make you pretend that you're going to wash the pain down, but it's not really. It's going to be like a moment.
Spreads it around.
It doesn't. Yeah. You can go for like pickles. That's another thing. I mean, sours are good for that too, to kind of cut it. But
Oh yeah,
swallowing a jar of mayonnaise, that seemed like a good idea.
Yeah.
Didn't really
Maybe
help the way.
maybe oxycodone or
We've been there. That's a thing.
I like the white bread as it sops up all the real fire.
So-
yeah,
You can take that white bread and turn it into a grilled cheese sandwich. That's like
Wow.
afterwards, it's like the most ultimate
Wow.
flavor just throwing it
That's
out
pretty
there.
good.
that's an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just say time out for a moment? As much as we're all loving this ways to eat your hot chicken at Prince's, hello, beer.
Oh, right. Fine.
Well, you know what though? One of the big things about craft beer is beer and food pairings.
Yeah,
true.
and that's exactly what we're
So
doing
now,
here.
what would you pair a Goo Goo Gish with?
Well, I actually just
Goo-goo?
sent some to a friend of mine in another state, and I sent him a bunch of Goo Goo clusters to have it with, just
Yeah.
to kind of compare and contrast. But, I mean, this is an amazing dessert beer. Won't get too much into the notes of it yet, but to tell you a little bit more about it, so there's this
please.
guy here in the community, Jeff Gish, who is just a wonderful man. And it's his favorite candy bar, and he's been quite ill for some time, but he's on the way back right now, thank goodness. And and he has been working on this beer with Derek Morse as an idea for the last 2 years. They released it as a surprise. They got permission from the Goo Goo Cluster people, Standard Candy Company. They were kind enough to just let them use the name. And they used a lot of the proceeds to give to Jeff's recovery fund. And
That's awesome.
It is
is
really
amazing.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
great of Derek to do that, and of Standard
Yes.
to let him do it. That's really cool.
And I mean, I hate to get all mushy, but I mean, to me, that speaks of Nashville. It's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
town. There's, there's a lot of cool stuff, and the beer community in
craft
general.
Beer community is really good about stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a family. It's not just drinking beer and sharing your whales, but it's really family.
I think
And
really great beers in
that's
the
really
city's DNA. You go back far enough, and you do have the Gerst Brewery, and so I mean, there's a great brewing history here in Nashville, at least prior to the pre-prohibition. So,
It's not just
and
country
certainly
music,
now
y'all.
in 2016, post-prohibition, it's getting better.
True.
Every day. It's almost tough to keep up with sometimes. So they built this amazing porter that has got notes of chocolate, peanut butter, vanilla,
Caramel.
the caramel, in there as well, and boom, you've got Goo Goo Gish. And I'm hoping two things. I'm hoping that Jeff has a full recovery, can enjoy this beer very soon. And that will also require Derek to make more of it.
Yes, please, Derek.
Goo Goo to stay cool,
Yeah.
and I think America wins.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Man, I
That's
could
how
enjoy
we beat the terrorists.
Yes,
honestly.
every time. Take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a red cap the other day that said, "Make beer better."
That's from Rhizome. That was at East Nashville Beer Fest.
Yeah.
That's he did those as a joke, but man, I want one of those so bad. But
That's right.
they're available for sale. That's a thing.
So Sparky, what would you what Suds rating would you give the Goo Goo Gish Porter from Mantra?
I mean, gosh, that's tough because it's a local and there's a lot of emotion brewed
all right.
into it.
It's all right, man.
I personally give it a 5 because for what they were going for, this guy is weaving flavors like an amazing tapestry. And
We'll take it. 5.
Yeah.
It's
And we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. So let's get back to this discussion on Goo Goo Gish. Reverend Mark, what do you think about this beer?
Well, I share all of Sparky's feelings about the beer in terms of how it came about and what it's about and what it tells us about Nashville. That's one thing. It's totally awesome. I think it's a totally awesome beer, too. And I'm thinking of the many different pairings that could go down so well with this. For some reason, I thought of a kind of like an almond type cheesecake. Yeah. Yeah.
You just killed Sparky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just what's coming to mind. It's hazelnut or an almond type
Oh, man.
cheesecake.
Yeah.
This would really be amazing
Like
with
a
that.
marzipan-y type.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Don't you see that going together?
Goodbye,
Yeah.
diet.
Yeah.
Sparky's stopping on the way home.
My girlish figure is no more.
Or
And
it could be even girlier.
Yes, your breasts are growing, Sparky.
Oh, to be cut.
They don't have hormones in this, do they? Yeah.
Depends on how much you drink.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I think in all the other interesting Goo Goo cluster flavor notes they're there, but they're not just like smashed in your face. And so I get the peanut butter, but it's not like I feel like it's oily or that it's too much. It's there. So I just think the key flavors that you would be sort of interested in detecting or maybe afraid of come out in a good balance.
Yeah. And what would you rate this puppy?
I'll give this one a 5.
Listen to that hang time. Give me another.
Way to be, Reverend Mark.
Good boy Dave, what did you think of this beer?
Well, you know me, I'm a pretty deep thinker and pretty profound guy, in general. But no, I have not met Jeff personally, but I do know Derek. Know what a solid community first guy he is. So, and the beer is actually phenomenal. Like, even if you hadn't told the story about it and it wasn't for a good cause, I think if you said the word Goo Goo and then you closed your eyes and you tasted this beer, you'd be like, holy crap, this tastes like a Goo Goo cluster. So I think without even knowing that it's for a good cause and that it's a really cool thing to do, it's a great beer either way. I think the peanut is the most pronounced flavor, and that's a hard flavor to brew with because you got to work with extracts and, keep oils and, the fats out of from the peanuts out of it and everything, so they don't go rancid. But honestly, I think it's a great beer, and I would also give the Goo Goo Gish a 5.
Wow. Well, aren't we just crazy?
Yeah, speaking of crazy, what do you think?
Listen to that hang time. Give me another. Well, what I really enjoyed about this beer is, for those that know Derek and what he brews at Mantra, this is completely out of his spectrum. And I give him props for not only, making this to support a friend, but also making it so damn good. I mean, for it being a super sweet beer, which is out of his rule book of what he makes. Because if you go to Mantra, you get like cardamom saffron IPAs, and you get these sour beers and these saisons
Joppa
and
milk stout.
Yeah, I mean, like, interesting, flavor ingredients. And and I hate to use the term run of the mill as this type of beer can be as a winter seasonal, every once, some sort of funky portery, stouty thing. This thing is just so well balanced, and you taste everything in there. You taste the chocolate, and you taste the caramel, and you taste the peanuts, and you even taste the backbone of the beer itself. And
I don't even get any spine in mine.
You didn't?
You sure that's not something you?
I
had
think
in
you
your
need to
cup
taste some
before?
more. No.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was
I got a little bit of marrow.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well,
I
Sparky,
flossed before this, so right through me.
any cartilage?
Yeah.
Anything, anybody? Okay. All
But
right.
again, I mean, just a very well balanced, for all that is going on there. You really get to taste everything that's going on there. If that makes any sense. And again, as somebody that doesn't know of Mr. Gish, I've never met him, but I know of his provenance in the community, and no one ever says a bad thing about that boy. And we wish him success on overcoming his illness. And I love this beer. I'm giving it a 5 as well.
Yay, Goo Goo.
And we're listening to that hang time yet again. So our next contestant
Dun, dun.
Yes. His Reverend Mark. And what, my dear lad, did you bring with us today?
Well, I brought a nice selection, I think, from Allagash, and one reason is because I know that everybody here likes almost anything and everything Allagash.
And were you thinking of me?
Yes,
when
in particular. Yeah, in particular. So I picked this up actually down in South Carolina not too long ago, and had not seen it before. And but I love Flemish Browns, and that's what this is their rendition of that.
I can taste the phlegm.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. That's what they say, like opera singers in early in the mornings, they all sing Flemish. Yeah.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
If I could put that on infinite repeat for that joke.
My spleen ruptured, but I just think that means you're doing your job.
We've worked a lot of body parts in already.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. All right.
So
what
on
is
the
this beer
anatomical
called?
chart here.
And what is this beer called again, by the way?
This is called James and Julie.
Okay.
And it is like I say, their interpretation of a Flemish sour. I think they've really hit all the great notes. It's brewed with mostly, like the Pilsner is the base malt, you got Special B in there, which gives you that kind of like raisin, fig aspect, and then they've also added maize, so which I really like in
call
certain
it corn.
Yes, corn. Flaked maize. It just sounds a little bit more sophisticated.
That is classier than corn.
Yeah.
Y'all got some corn in that? Flaked maize. Thank you very much.
That's right. Some of that corn mash.
But that corn gives it, some more body, and then you get a little of those kind of spice notes from that as well. From what I understand, this stuff is aged for 2 years on stainless steel with lacto and PDO. So
Nice.
You get a lot of that mineral aspect to the yeast. It finishes, I think, very clean. And just the right level of sour for me. I mean, I love sour beer, but I think really great sour beer is even best in small sittings. So, anyway, I offer my beer to you. It is, I think, in my opinion, and maybe we're just all in good moods today, I'm going to give it a 5.
Ooh, we're coming strong today.
Listen to that hang time. Give me another. So, good old boy Dave.
So, the thing I like about this beer is that, right now a lot of people are doing kettle sours and gozas and things like that, Berliner Weiss, and those are all really good beers, but it's a kind of a more simplistic, one note kind of sour. With this beer, and part of it's the age, and part of it is the combination of the PDO and the lacto and everything. It's a more complex sour, and I think part of that probably has to do with the grain bill as well. But everything about it, man, it's like one of those beers where, like, you want to kind of roll around your mouth and get the different notes from it and everything. And I'm not usually like a slow drinker. Anyone who knows me, a bit of a guzzler, but no, this is a beer that I would like to kind of like sit back and enjoy and like take the time to pick up all the nuances that it provides. So I think it's great, and I would also give this Flemish beer a 5. If I could hit the damn button. There it is. It's 5. I promise it's 5, everybody.
Well, I like this beer a lot. I think it would be like an introduction for people that wanted to try Flemishes, because some Flemish ales can be really kind of pungent and in your face. This is not so at all. This is nice and subtle, and it settles in, like a blanket will eventually warm you up, over a little bit of time. And it's very comfortable, and it's very approachable. I know that sounds weird for a beer, but that's my opinion of it. And it's really beautiful. Now, I have no idea who James and Julie are, but me being a Julie, I'm okay with this beer. I endorse this beer. This is a really good beer. Thank you, Reverend Mark, for bringing this beer.
My pleasure.
And I'm giving this kid a 5, too. Do you ever find that just seems to linger and linger?
It does.
Sometimes?
I would like to know, if that was a human that did that, were they okay afterwards? Yeah. That's what I'm worried about.
Or did the bottom fall out?
Right, right, exactly.
I think it might be a walrus.
Maybe it is a walrus.
Good.
Wow. Good old boy Sparky, what did you think of this?
So, Mark, you're speaking my language with this. I mean, Flanders red, Flanders brown. I mean, I'm a Flemish slut. Sorry, that's where I come from. And I agree with you that, so you get, as it's warmed up a little bit and I've had it, I mean, it is very funky on the front end. And I love that. I mean, I'm a blue cheese funky monster, but then to your point, it's poof, it's gone by the end, and there's not, some of the, I think, wood age stuff, it kind of tends to keep going for a couple of years, and I'm fine with that too. But I would love to serve this for Thanksgiving, with a great smoked turkey and some cranberry sauce. I think this would be exceptional to put on the table with that, just to pair up, because it is while it is funky and it is, you got those great sour notes, I think it's clean enough on the end that it's just going to pair up really well with maybe something smoky or tart really well, too. So, man, again, I hope there's another button than 5 because I think we kind of blew it all at the beginning here. I'm going to have to go for a 5 on this, too. Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Don't worry, there are worse beers coming.
Good. I'm glad we stacked it down.
Yeah, and now it's going down. And speaking of which, good old boy Dave, what's your offering?
When you're talking to me.
What's your offering for today, buddy?
Okay, so I'm going to try to say this. It's Dekoorc Eert. So it's Crooked Tree. It's from...
Excuse you?
Did you say yurt? Like
Eert,
as in...
Eert, not a yurt.
Oh, I
Eert.
thought you were living in a
Yeah.
yurt.
Dekoorc Eert.
And I wasn't judging.
Yes.
I just...
You sounded a little judgy.
Well,
Very judgy.
Okay, I kind of do that. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Sorry,
thought maybe
Flat
it-
Stanley is just staring at me and he's just putting me on edge.
Oh, that's right. We did not mention earlier we have a special guest in the studio today, Flat Stanley, all the way from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, from Bear Creek Elementary. Woohoo! Yes.
Wow.
Yes, hi, Stanley.
I bet this is the first beer podcast that has ever given Bear Creek Elementary a shout out.
I would like to apologize to
It's
all
Bear
of the
Creek.
children,
I did say Bear
parents, teachers, administration at Bear Creek.
Yes.
We're sorry, and it's going to get better. I promise.
think maybe they should change it to Bear Creek Elementary. That actually sounds better.
No.
I'd go to that school.
I'd move to that place. You had me at Bear Creek.
Maybe I would have gotten past second grade if I had gone to Bear Creek.
Well, it is quite...
Well, it was supposed to be Bear Creek, but the guys that were in charge of the sign had been drinking a little too much
There
beer.
you go.
They might have,
Yeah.
anyways.
It happens.
Yes. Well, Flat Stanley is learning how to podcast today.
He's not drinking any beer.
No.
I can promise you that.
No.
We carted him on the way in. and-
No. Yeah.
Did not pass.
No. His sippy cup is apple juice only. Anyways, so good old boy Dave.
So
Continue.
So Dark Horse Brewing in Michigan, they make an IPA, and it's called Crooked Tree, and it is awesome. Well, they also make a line of their IPAs where they put different hops in, and any of you who know about hops know that they look and smell a lot like marijuana, but you put them in beer. So there you go. I don't know where I got off on that one. That was weird. But this is actually the full name of this beer is Edacsac Dekoorc Eert India Pale Ale.
Gesundheit.
I wish I had access to the buzzer button right now.
And what part of the Netherlands is this from?
Bear Creek.
Edacsac. Yes, straight out of Bear Creek. So this is their July special release. It is a 6.5% IPA. It's got a lot of grapefruit, citrus flavors. Interesting. I'll be a son of a... Okay, so I'm a big fan. I've had a lot of the different varietals of the Crooked Tree, Eert thing, whatever you want to call it, that they've done with the different hops. I think they've done some with Galaxy and maybe Falconers and a couple others, but I think it all starts with a good solid IPA. This one has some big caramel notes to me in the body. And I think I really like when breweries do this. You know, when you're brewing several hundred gallons of beer at a time, it's not like you can just manipulate grain bills every time you want to try something different. So if you get a good base beer, and then you throw some different hops at it, dry hopping, doing different little things, it's a great way to kind of play with it, be creative, build up your repertoire of beers and things, and still not blow out the budget. So I'm a big fan. I think Dark Horse puts together a lot of really good beers. I hope you all enjoy it, and I gave this one a 4.
Cool. Well, I think it's a really good concept too, and especially for people that don't brew, so they know there's hops out there, they know there's different hops out there, but sometimes you don't know what's doing what and what flavor is giving you what. So to be able to take a nice IPA base and then just change out your hop profile, I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, that being said, I do enjoy this beer. It's a little resinous-y for me.
Can you spell that?
Resinous-y. It's a Judaism. But also, like that and the caramel notes are just, they're kind of fighting each other in my mouth right now, and I'm not quite sure who's winning. But the hop profile I do really enjoy on this one. I'm giving this guy a 3. And there you go. Sparky. 10 seconds.
Still trading up. So I definitely got the malt and caramel. It almost tastes like a dippa to me. It's weird, but I'm sorry. I guess I like my IPAs a little bit brighter, and it didn't. I wasn't in love with it, and I kind of felt it fell into the 3 as well on this. But I still love you, Dave, and I love what you do.
Shut up.
Well, there you are.
Stupid Sparky.
Well, Reverend Mark, we're going to come back to you in just a second. We're going to take a little break, and
Alrighty.
we'll be back on our last take on this beer.
Sparky may or may not be here.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are talking about good old boy Dave's Crooked Tree beer. Reverend Mark, what did you think of this beer?
Well, I'll tell you, when this was first poured and it was cold, it smelled really distinctly of malt, and I knew it was a double IPA, so I thought, this is good. This is kind of the way I like double IPAs to at least start out. And it did start out that way as cold, but I've noticed that as it's gotten warmer, it's gotten thinner for some reason, and it seems like just even the hops are a little bit more resiny than what I had originally tasted. So I don't know what the coming to ambient means for this beer. Typically, a beer like this opens up and it's even more malty. So given that, though, it's still a very, very good beer. But I just don't get all of the nuances that a double IPA would suggest to me. So I would give it also a 3.
Well, there you go.
But we still love Dave.
But we still love Dave.
No,
Absolutely.
Your words are hollow.
There's love for Dave. There's love for Dave.
You're not a bad person. You just bring us bad beer.
Well, okay, so that begs the point. We were calling this a bottle share episode. So let's talk about some bottle share etiquette real quick before we go to Julie's beer, because she can wait.
It's great knowing you, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
You're a good guy.
I may need to sleep on your couch. So, I know, recently, a few months ago, we went to a bottle share that good old boy Mike put on, and he sent out some bottle share etiquette tips, things like, bring enough.
Was that the
share.
big share?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you go to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you guys there?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we were in an unfinished restaurant that didn't have lighting.
Lots of nooks
walls,
and crannies. Yes.
Yes, and
I was there. I remember.
And Sparky's like, where was I during all this?
Is this the one where we had the first big bottle share?
in Hendersonville?
Yeah.
At the restaurant that
Yeah,
I
you were
was
there?
like snarfling down egg rolls. It was kind of dark and spooky.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lane and I were there, but we got lost. I mean, yeah. So
Did you two wander off into a dark corner?
we
for everyone?
Yeah.
did.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Darn it, beat me to the punch.
Okay. But yes, so we've established that there was a bottle share.
All four of us were there,
There.
No one
unbeknownst.
saw anyone.
Now-
Unbeknownst to everybody else.
David and
but-
Julie, did you guys know that you were both there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
So half of
I
us,
drove.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, it was a big bottle share, and there were many sections of beer, right? Well, there was a couple sections of beer and then one section of spirits. But the point is that there was a lot of things going on.
Squirrel.
So,
Yeah.
Yes. So, etiquette.
Etiquette.
Talk about it.
You want me to talk about etiquette?
Yeah.
Honestly, am I
I find
really?
it ironic.
Well, I think to me at least, I always bring as much as I expect to drink.
Yeah,
so
that was the good rule.
That's a great rule of thumb, or a little bit more than that, because I think we're from the South, and I think generosity flows in our brain.
That's why I usually
brains
bring a
and
keg
blood.
whenever I go.
Good man. That's why I always stay close to you, unless I can't find you in the dark, spooky, not open restaurant. But to me, that's important. Bring more than what you have.
Yeah.
And, I think I always feel like a lot of pressure because, like, oh my God, what if it's not good enough for everybody else?
Yeah, and that can get a little weird too. It's like, do I need to break out the best stuff I have, or, what if everybody makes fun of my beer? Like, what if I think it's a pretty good IPA and then everybody kind of craps on it and gives it a 3? Yeah, that'd be a really weird situation to get in. Oh, wait, that just happened.
Wah, 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 wah.
I'll tell you another thing to consider about bottle shares is when you show up and there is just such a great variety and volume of beer for the people that are there. Because sometimes you can be overly generous, which I know that's hard to imagine, but you have to then start thinking about bottle shares kind of like a mini GABF, where you're just asking yourself, there's all these great beers here, but I can only go to so many booths. So how many booths am I going to go to? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point too. One thing for me too is when you were saying about people judging you, though, I think most people in the beer community are pretty cool about it. And yeah, there may be those militant jerks on, but really, just do you care about those schmucks?
The beer advocate crowd.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yes.
I mean, to me, it's about a beer that you're passionate about, that you like. You've enjoyed it yourself, or maybe it's something that you've had that you're saving for a special occasion. And usually it's in a bomber, so it's not like you can just down it yourself, over the course of watching Matlock.
Murder, She Wrote. That's really
sorry,
what
that's
calls
where
to
you're
me
at.
now.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Wow.
Matlock.
So, anyways, I mean, it's something that you're interested in yourself. So, therefore, it's not a matter of what everyone else is going to think of it. I mean, obviously, you don't want to bring a Bud Light or a Miller Coors Light.
Hold on
Now, wait. I am all about comedy. Okay, so and practical jokes.
I don't get that. You don't seem very
I know,
funny.
right? So the best thing that I saw at that share was at the last second. I can't remember who did. Somebody brought a 12-pack of Hams beer, like from So it was like,
But that's Hams.
right, exactly. But see, to me, the comedy value of pulling out like Grain Belt beer or Hams or some kind of local, just great regional. I need to get drunk on the cheapest amount of money beer.
Right.
Lawn mowing beer, if you will. I think that's awesome, and I think as long as you're balancing, if you brought that and something cool, that'd be great. But I'm all about the comedy value. So.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking beer jokes, there's a proctologist goes into a bar.
And
he says, give me a light beer. And they brought him a light beer, and he goes, drinks it, and he says, no, I'm in a Butt Light.
I'm not even gonna waste the buzzer again.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
And thank you.
Do you remember when my
Reverend
spleen
Mark.
ruptured earlier? Now, I don't even know. Gallbladder? Is that what's left?
Can we roll the closing credits now?
Okay, no. But what we are going to do is, since you guys waited for me to be last, I'm going to say, screw y'all. I'm going to use both beers.
Okay. Wow.
So,
The nuclear option.
yeah. So I never do anything basic. I wanted to do something different. So I brought 2 beers for this little show and tell thing. One of them was something that I wanted to try, and then the other one is something that I'm rather proud of. So first I'm going to talk about the Griffin Claw OB.LIV.I.OUS. Yes. That is from Birmingham. Wait for it. Birmingham, Michigan. Not Alabama. No.
Got me.
No. It is a 10% wheat wine ale that is aged in a beautiful bourbon barrel. Now, as this kid has warmed up over, since we poured it, I think it is a flippin' beautiful beer. That's all I'm going to say. I'm giving it a 5, and that's the end of that story.
Yeah, in your face, people.
It's just beautiful and stunning. And what's sad is that it's not even a funky version. Griffin Claw did a rye barrel and did a few other barrel-aged versions of this wheat wine. And from what I've heard, they're all stunning. I've only had this one, but I can just imagine based off of this one. Now, the second one that I'm going to talk about quickly is from Dogfish Head. I love me some Dogfish Head. Yes, because you made me go last. This is what we're doing. And there's that.
Wow.
Did you just throw the mic down? Because
I think she did.
No,
Like
mic
a boss.
has not been dropped.
So anyways, I'm going to talk quickly about Pennsylvania Tuxedo. This is a beer that Dogfish Head had brewed in collaboration with Woolrich. Woolrich is in Pennsylvania, and it's an ode to those guys that get excited about the fall when it's hunting season and they wear their flannel and they stay out in the bitter cold.
Rednecks?
No.
No, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
Anyways, I just wanted to showcase this beautiful beer. A, because it's from Dogfish Head and I love Dogfish Head. B, because it's partly about Pennsylvania, which is my home state. Yay!
Is that you're from Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
I've never picked that up in any of this ever.
Whatever.
She never talks about it.
Yeah,
you're
never.
right.
Never.
Sparky, you'd never
Okay.
know.
But they're also using spruce tips. And I think that spruce tips in a beer is a really cool thing. It's a little underrated, and I think it works really well in this beer. And hold your tongue for 2 seconds. Anyways, this beer I've given a 4, and there's that.
Okay, so Sparky.
Quick. 2 beers.
2 beers. Bam, bam. All right. So
2 beers, 1 straw.
that's right. Oof. That's a thing. Oblivious. So when it was colder, hit me with a ton of booze, and so I knew that it was immediately dangerous, and really enjoyed it. Didn't get as much of the bourbon. Now that it is warmed up, it is like sucking on a bourbon barrel stave, and I am a bourbon machine. That's what I run on, and it is delicious. And huge winner. I'm going to give that a 5 for certain. Really nice surprise there too. So moving on to Pennsylvania Tuxedo. So did you say spruce tips?
Yeah.
Just the tips.
Right.
Okay.
Not the full branch.
Just the tip. Okay. Well, I can definitely. I said rosemary when I first had it, but I didn't realize it's spruce. And I've got a Spruced OB.LIV.I.OUS that I have. Like, I bought a bottle of it, And I probably will have it until the day I die, because if you've ever had a Spruced OB.LIV.I.OUS, it's kind of like shoving a spruce tree in your mouth and rubbing it all over the place. This is so much more subtle and much more delicate. And I really had to think about it. But nice surprise. I'm going to have to go with a 4 on that bad boy, or girl, if you will.
It's a boy.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
It's a tree.
It is a tuxedo.
Yeah.
I love tuxedos.
Yeah. Reverend Mark, what'd you think of these assaults of beers?
These are what beers?
I said assaults of beers.
Yeah. The Oblivious, to me, my favorite of the two. I really like a barley wine strength, so-called wheat wine, especially when you're dealing with, the barrel complexities that can come along with that. I think it is more transparent, base style. And so you really do get the essence of the wood, the whiskey, whatever else it's mingling with. I just think it's a really good kind of canvas to paint on for a big beer. So that alone, I would give it, I'll give this one a 5, actually, in terms of just what it is.
Aww, cool.
Yeah. Whereas the Tuxedo, which I like perfectly fine. I think I would like maybe no more than a 12-ounce pour of this, though. I think part of it is just because of my own, sort of, I'm disinclined toward, like, say, gin rather than vodka. I'd rather have vodka than gin for the reason I would rather maybe not have a lot of this. Something about that pine.
That's interesting, because I'm a gin head.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I never
yeah.
even thought about that. So yeah, that's why I'm broken. All the herbs.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I do though. I think it's really articulates that flavor, and that's that you think of. It also kind of tasted a little to me like rosemary. Had some of that kind of earthy rosemary notes as well. I would like to put a couple of bottles of this away, if for no other reason than for Thanksgiving, to marinate my turkey in this. So. But I would drink.
Cool.
But I would drink some along the way. No.
That's met with a very stern look.
No.
She's like,
I think that's like. Well, I use beer for all kinds of cooking.
Yeah,
so
I would put
I
it in the gravy too. Oh my God, Mark, that is really okay. You've got me percolating over
gravy
here.
beer.
But actually, I mean, my bias in any negative direction is simply my bias about spruce and about just
No, it's an
So you're
acquired
ready for
taste.
my Spruced OB.LIV.I.OUS. I'm bringing that next time.
Yes, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's like
So in
mouthwash.
that
Mark's
regard,
a
I
bit
give
of a tree bigot. So
Judgy McJudgerton.
just for the deciduous or whatever. Yeah.
And he just got that.
that's a big word, Flat Stanley.
Go back to Beer Creek. You're never gonna be the same, man. Beer Creek's never gonna be the same for you, Stanley.
That's right.
But I can see like drinking this and driving around, and then the officers say, "Oh, you've just been to the car wash. I like that."
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh.
So how do you rate?
How do you rate
I
this?
just had this image of shoving one of those Christmas tree things in your mouth before you get pulled over to I got this. Hold on.
Or in the National Lampoon's Family Christmas Vacation, where they unsnap the tree,
My name is Evelyn. I'm 27 years old. I live in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and I'm addicted to drinking air freshener. I love air freshener. I love it. Absolutely. What I love about drinking air freshener is the taste. There's a million air fresheners out there, but the one that I like is fresh linen. I've tried other scents, but I don't like them. None of them taste like they say they smell. Cinnamon is not cinnamon. Apple crisp is like dirt. You're a champ. I've got to have fresh linen. I literally crave it. In the last 3 years, there's not a day where I've not had it.
And so anyway, we're just free associating way too much.
Yes. So what did you give this
3.
beer?
A 3.
Okay, Dave.
Okay, so real
1 minute
quickly,
or less.
I give Oblivion or Oblivious or whatever it is.
It's Oblivious.
I drank it so much I am oblivious. It's really big. I like it a lot. I gave it a 4. Pennsylvania Tuxedo. I just want to go on record as saying there are rednecks in Pennsylvania. It is freaking full of them.
It's true.
And I gave that beer a 3.
Ouch. You kill me. Well, anyways, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and you can catch all of our episodes online, as well as SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search for Sips, Suds, Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store.
We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at SipSudSmokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news.
Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well.
Well, I want to thank our co-host today for joining us, good old boy Dave.
Pennsylvania, you are redneck.
Reverend Mark.
Been great sharing a few with you.
And good old boy Sparky.
Does this mean we're banned in Pennsylvania now, too?
Yeah.
Banned
Yes.
once again.
Yes. Well, I'm good old gal Julieanna. Thanks for joining us, and keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sips, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.